with the loan assistance of the World Bank. The first two phases of the project were executed with a supply-driven approach without the user's involvement. This resulted in as many as 12 systems having to be abandoned, as these were not required or demanded by the users. The systems were constructed by the agency using the contractor and the consultant. The project was hurriedly handed over to the users after the completion without strengthening the user's institution. Most of the systems erected in the first two phases have not been performing satisfactorily. For example, Suba Samira pump is not in use because the line was brought from Ganasati pump, whose transformer was stolen. Another system is just irrigating 19 hectares as against the target of 120 hectares, thus escalating the per hectare cost to as high as rupees 863,000. The pump is only used for 40 hours in a year. There was a delay in the installation of the pumps in the first phase for reasons not revealed. It took about 4 years to install the pump after the completion of the drilling. Most of the users have alternative source of irrigation from the Suraha Mauja surface system. The team asked the users as why they allowed to build another expensive system when they had access to Suraha Mauja irrigation system. The users said, "We have used this free gift as a backup for paddy nursery raising during dry season." Most of the command area of BLGWP has not only access to traditional surface systems, but the low-cost shallow tube wells are also feasible. It is difficult to understand why such expensive and complex system was needed. Even now, there are as many as 10 shallow tube wells within the command area of one system. This symbolizes the unreliability and high operational cost of the deep tube well system. In the third phase, demand-driven approach was followed, but the technology used was not favorable for the land ownership pattern of the users. At least 3 users must use the system at a time, which requires that all 3 users have the same amount of land to be irrigated. The cost per hectare works out to over rupees 120,000 compared to less than rupees 30,000 in the case of shallow tube wells. When the users do not assume ownership, the systems are not properly maintained and used. The transformers of Kanari and Dhamsar are stolen. In Rajad, Moinahia, Bondhusari, Manmateria, Madhubani, Bahata and Ottawa, people are not using the system because it is not affordable for them. The systems in Manamateria and Madhubani are blacklisted as the users could not pay the electricity tariff. This is the situation of a project which was labeled as the best irrigation system in the country. Badganga Irrigation Project. The Badganga irrigation system in Kapilvastu, whose construction started 3 decades ago, was completed about 2 decades ago by the agency. It has a potential command area of 6,200 hectares, which could benefit 13,000 farming households. However, in the last season, this system provided irrigation water for only 1,000 hectares. This is the first, probably the only storage type of irrigation system in the country. From the very beginning, several efforts were made to improve the efficiency of the system. The command area was expanded between 1970 and 1978 at a cost of 22.3 million rupees. This did not succeed, and another project by the name of Command Area Development was applied with a loan and TA assistance of ADB, IFAD and UNDP in 1982. In 1991, US aid provided assistance of $0.5 million for improving irrigation management, which was implemented by International Irrigation Management Institute. All these efforts proved futile as local people have destroyed the structures. The WUC chairman said, "We just demanded bicycles to monitor the canals, but they constructed several buildings." Currently, the government has again introduced an irrigation management transport project which is being implemented with a loan from ADB, but there is least hope of improvement. Sange-Patiani Surface Irrigation System. Sange-Patiani Irrigation System is situated in Ward number 6 and 8 of the Bias Municipality of Tanahu District. It was constructed by His Majesty's Government of Nepal in 1964. It was designed for irrigating 100 hectares during monsoon and 50 hectares during spring. Although the construction was completed in stipulated time, the quality of construction was very poor. The seepage and leakage from the intake and main canal resulted in the wastage of water. The users of the system demanded for improvement at damaged intake, check dam and main canal. The users again initiated to improve the system in 1989, but after 10 years, His Majesty's Government of Nepal approved the request. The project was rehabilitated and expanded under ILC. The project is now being rehabilitated under NISP. The system was constructed without informing the users in 1983-84 and was completed the same year. Hence, they do not know who planned, designed and appointed the contractor, and eventually the system was poorly constructed. Besides, the present WUC is dominated by the elite who are not committed. The project fails to cover the entire command area due to poor quality construction. The users take least interest in the maintenance of the system due to weak organization. Even in NISP, there has been no coordination with WUC during the implementation of the project. The same contractor that was used in ILC was given the contract in NISP, hence the system has again been poorly rehabilitated. APP Shallow Tube Wells. The Shallow Tube Well program, initiated in 1976, came into planned implementation in the year 1981. In the same year, the government started providing capital subsidy. Shallow tube wells are installed by two main agencies, namely the Department of Irrigation and Agricultural Development Bank. DOI implements the Shallow Tube Well program with loan and grant assistance from various donors, while ADBN provides loan and technical support. The Agricultural Perspective Plan APP prescribed massive expansion of shallow tube wells in Nepal Tarai for controlled year-round irrigation. In response, the government set up groundwater offices in different parts of the country. Pump sets were distributed free of cost to the groups that had already drilled the well. It was found that many households formed fake groups for the individual possession of the system. Some households obtained subsidies both on the drilling and on the equipment. Now that subsidy has been fully withdrawn as a loan condition of the Asian Development Bank, there is virtually no demand for shallow tube wells. Who's to be blamed? An obvious question in everybody's mind would be, who is accountable for all these miscues? While the government should be responsible for this, the donors are also no less responsible in terms of imposing the terms, conditionalities, and the guidelines. In fact, there is donor involvement in most of the malfunctioning infrastructure in the country. Although a large sum of resources